Wey, hello guys, girls, you're out there, probably not. Group Frickin C! I was browsing race department the other day. There was a conversion of a Porsche 956 early Group C. I just had to have a go. So I spent, instead of doing engineering work, I spent half a day cobbling together something that may or may not drive a little bit like an early Group C car. And one of the, in my opinion, best things about Automobilista is that it's not just lots of modern stuff, but it's also historic stuff. Now, this is not official content, it's just a mod from race department with my physics for a bit of fun. But we have some 80s tracks, and Jacerepagua historic is quite good, although I haven't really driven it in the sim. So many track and configs. This one is almost new to me. And the best way to learn a track is to take an overpowered turbo laggy monster to the track and learn your way, you know, in slow, easy equipment. That's how you learn. So let me just go out there and have a go. Oh, look at that. This is a conversion, I believe, from the classic R-Factor VLM Virtual Le Mans series. The guys who did some amazing tracks, Mid-Ohio, Sebring, what else did they do? And some great cars. I did do some laps. So there is a turbo installed, and that's what made me do this. I did a bit of Group C on and off, just as a hobby here and there, but I've never made one with actual turbo, so that's a feature that's in Automobilista, that's not in R-Factor. It is somewhat simplified, but the major things of a turbo are in there, kinda. And currently I'm not using the turbo, so this Porsche 956, everything is to the best of my understanding. I'm not a encyclopedia and I don't live in Stuttgart, so I don't know. It's a 2.65 liter engine, and the best I can understand from it is that if it wasn't turbo, you would get about 290, say 260, somewhere the higher end of 200 horsepower, perhaps 300. Yet this car we're driving now has 600 something. So over half of the power comes from the turbo, so you better make sure your turbo is working. It's not as bad as 80s Formula 1, where this was the engine and that was the turbo, but here it's about 50-50. I've quickly copy-pasted some turbo sound stuff to the sound file, so I've taken the fake turbo noises out of the mod and applied some sounds that are actually from the turbo. And well, this is Group C fuel saving. It's in the description, I'll say it again if you just joined. This is just a bit of, I found the mod on race department. I have a love for Group C, and with Automobilista we have those historic tracks, and this one I haven't really driven. I know this track from the DOS game Grand Prix circuit. But let's say that's not the most accurate simulation, so today are actually pretty much my first laps on this track with those long sweeping corners. where it's far easier to miss your apex than to hit it. Force feedback is maxing out pretty much in the quicker stuff, but I think we may have the stronger motor left at the office somewhere. I think I'll try that. I'll bring it home, sneak it in, nobody will notice. I don't know how well the sound comes through from the turbo, but there is a very high-pitched whistle and of course the blow-off valves. So force feedback is not quite there. It's only 60 Newton meters. Still, it's I've taken a break, so it feels easy now, but after 10 or so laps I'm probably happy I don't have the 25 Newton meter motor. Such a difference, like tracks like these, long sweeping corners, those 80s curbs that you want to steer way clear of because they're very high, very deadly. Always up for a demonstration of what I just say. Always people who don't believe me. So I'll just demonstrate those curbs. Yeah, we're good. The more of that turbo whistle you hear, the more power comes from the turbo, basically, so. It's a pretty big turbo. Ow. Giving us over 300 horsepower extra. And you may want to change the gearing so the turbo is on when you're exiting the corner. I'll spend a lot of time getting lost here because these long sweeping corners, like I said, it's quite tricky to navigate them. Engine does have quite a bit of torque, but if the turbo isn't working, there it goes. Naturally, it only took one little phone call to Germany and they told me everything, all the data is in my hands. No, very little exists, whether it's about the downforce or the engine, like the turbo lag or something. It's all just my imagination. Okay, yeah, I'm starting to feel those forces already. We are dealing with a locked differential. That's how they ran them. So there is at this moment a bit of push, especially in a lower speed. But no shortage of oversteer elsewhere. We've got about 59% of the weight on the rear. But it's surprisingly alright here. It feels a little oversteery, but then, sorry, a little understeery, but then the boost comes in and all your understeer problems are history. Oh, that took the curb. Should not have done that. But we saved it. So everything that I say about Group C is from mostly how I interpret things, which is guaranteed incorrect. There is an apex there, I'm just afraid of it somehow. But I do think that in, like, this is 83, 84, that Group C did like get quite a bit quicker over the years. Better tires, a much more developed aero. So we're not even having an incredible amount of downforce here. It's quite a bit, but it's nothing, not off the scale. But we don't have very grippy tires. Oh. And only 650 horsepower or so. But let's see if we can figure out this racetrack. So far I've not yet. It's what I like about when you... Yeah. Let's do some streaming with a Group C car and talk intelligently while driving. I know that was a bit unrealistic. But modern cars, they don't have a lock differential anymore. Or big turbos with quite a bit of lag. So modern racing cars are so well sorted, so easy to drive in the sense that they just work, they're quite neutral most of the time. Like a modern LMP2 car. Quite advanced pieces of kit that go real well. Have traction control for the user, power steering. And these are just very crude little monsters. And you feel it in the sim as well. I also don't have a big urge to tweak the physics as much. It's just like, well, back in the day, the car handling wasn't perfect. And you see the man handling the things a bit. There is a brilliant video of this car, which I think a certain video company who once banned a certain Jimmy Broadbent for showing an Isle of Man video in his stream. Is it Duke video? They managed to erase all traces of the video on YouTube. It used to be quite available. I think it's called In-Car 956. Onboard laps. VHS quality. I think Derek Bell does the commentating. They go to Fuji, Silverstone, Spa, Le Mans, Nürburgring. Huge camera in the car because it's 80s, of course. That's worth a watch. Tank slapper developing there. Not quite on boost there on the exit. A bit of understeer. And what I remember from the video, In-Car 956, so do get that DVD or VHS, whatever it's available on. At Fuji, there was this corner where I think Derek Bell said, yeah, we just got a lot of oversteer here, we don't really know why, and they have moments there every lap. It's just an era where the tires, the chassis, the electronics, the car was just not as sorted as a modern car. And I don't think the drivers even complained. It was, I mean, they were winning. But things have come such a long way. Cars are so easy to drive now. This is a bit nervous. That's better. I have to get on the throttle earlier. Then I get some boost. And tracks like this don't exist anymore. Ow! Oh, bit of a fourth gear. This is where the steering is heaviest. Running a bit wide. Also running a bit slow. And wide again, out of boost. There's the boost again. It wants to peel away from me. Nice. So it's not ready for the boost there. Oh, that's late on the brakes. Still okay. Oh, no, not okay, not okay. Definitely not okay. It's a 350 horsepower whistle that you're hearing, basically. So, yeah, quite a good whistle. Best whistle. 300. How much power does your whistle have? 350. No, don't take curb. What have I done? What have I created? Let me just quickly check. Failing elsewhere, as well as just behind the steering wheel. And then I'll do some laps while shutting up. People watching, hello. So yeah, in car 956. Shut up, YouTube. Nice to take a break. What have I done? 5 laps? Jeez. So yeah, Automobilista does have a real turbo. Exhaust flow spins up a turbo, and based on how the turbo is spinning, puts more air and more power out of the engine and more fuel. So there's an inertia effect of the turbo is there. So you go on the throttle, even if you're at the right revs. If you've just come off the throttle and you go on again, that pretty much guarantees that your turbo isn't spinning. It takes a bit of time for that inertia of the turbos to start spinning again. So that's much better than our factor. We just had like a torque curve with a fixed turbo power boost thingy in it, and that's completely incorrect, because the instant you go on the throttle you had the torque, whereas here the 350 horsepower whistle needs a bit of time to come into play. Just scrolling through some of the comments before I embrace what am I doing? No, not embracing. Before I dare to go out again. Motion rigs never likely to come from me. I'm not a fan of motion. Also the reasons, I think it's in my one of the Q&A videos, 4 or 5. Yeah, I did lots of Q&A videos while crashing cars a long time ago. I think I talk about motion in one of those. So Stephen O'Sullivan has the DVD, Derek Bell in-car 956, so he's officially the luckiest person in chat. Somebody requested him to upload it to YouTube. Not a good idea. Alright, so that was the limited amount of chat done with, sadly. Ask me more questions so I don't have to work up a sweat and die in the simulator. Anyway, I'll do some more laps. I'll be slightly on the shut-uppy side because I'm nowhere on the track and with my lines and times. Or stamina. Ah, that's my favorite whistle. Oh, there, please. Almost perfect. How to do this? Double apex or just stick to the inside here? I think the inside first. Ah, nowhere. Come on. Scary though. Going on a throttle a bit before you want to. I need some new personal firmware today. I think I'm being DDoS attacked. Russia. Damn Russians. There is my whistle again, that's good. Hey, where's my hut gone? Honey, I broke the hut. One hand. A 5? No. 5. Yeah, there we are. Somehow that got disabled. This probably destroyed OBS. We'll hope not. It's a new feature of the Dinhut plugin. It gets ashamed for you and turns itself off if your split times are worthless. Fourth gear, try to stick to the inside here, let it go out. Not so wide, not so wide. No! Let me out! Come on, alright, now we're doing it. Too early. And we did one reasonable lap. I saw two sort of documentaries on the car. Sadly, well, if you're not German, sadly they're in German. From the ZDF, some nice VHS rips. I believe they say there was a team of 50 people working on the car. And Force India was just bought and I think they have 450 people. What a different time and how useless it is to have 450 people and then being one of the smaller teams in Formula 1. it's too professional, it's too well built, it's too drivable, it's still super difficult, and these drivers are amazing, but machines like this, 150 degrees Fahrenheit in the cockpit. Somebody do the Google conversion on that. 60, 70 degrees Celsius. No power steering. Bumpy old racetracks. And in general, just more work, more inputs, more corrections. Very tiring to drive. That feeling of manhandling this thing, probably because it's just a car made in half a day. You don't want it to be better. Deal with it. So it's 150 degrees in the cockpit, deal with it. I can't turn the steering wheel, Mr. Porsche, deal with it. We are winning, so don't complain. There's my favorite whistle. It's getting heavy on the steering now. Well, my understeer problems seem to be gone, replaced with bigger oversteer problems. But it helps having kept quiet for a couple of laps. Oh. Negative, but not after that. Oh, nope. Oh, too early. If you look carefully, you see I have the Ferrari split time plugin installed. I was plus 412 and now. Oh. Minus 126. All nice Ferraris. There you go. Make one Ferrari joke while in a Porsche, and your split is gone. My thumb hurts. I think I got a splinter in there. How the hell? Oh, from... Ow. 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 Okay, nope. Stop being a pussy, Niels. These guys risked their lives. Steering was heavier, the braking was heavier, the cockpit was hotter. And I got a itty bitty metal shaving in my thumb. Man up! You goddamn pussy! Arrgh. 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 It's interesting how the under and oversteer blends and is present. Quite controllable. I got sweat leaking from my arm now. It likes to trail brake a bit to get rid of entry understeer. And on the power, if you're in the zone with the whistle, you're fine. That's pretty late, but okay, it likes to trail brake, I just said it. Oh, random clutch technique. Oh, this feels awesome though. Martin Brundle, who drove quite a few racing cars in his day and also as a commentator, or no, I think it was David Coulthard, got to drive a mid-60s Lotus Formula 1 car, and he remembered seeing the driver's saw on the wheel a bit back in from videos. And he drove the car and he said, "No, I understand it. That's just what you do." Saliva. Oh. I kind of get the feeling here as well, as crude as these physics are, just a day of work, that the manhandling, I don't do it for show. I feel I have to. I'm looking for the grip in understeer, in oversteer. I'm not copying a video, it's just that's how it drives. And that's real cool when, even though it might be a accumulation of 20 things that are wrong that sort of combine to be fairly convincing looking at first glance. So yeah, I realized that, but if you look at it a bit more positively, perhaps the bumpy track, the older, more slip angle in the tires, the laggy turbo, the lock differential, and this is what comes out. Kind of cool that this is just what comes out of the physics tools pretty much after one iteration. I don't mind GT3 cars. I don't mind modern racing tracks. But come on, man. Would you want to drive a very well sorted car with 500 horsepower, 1300 kilos, with all sorts of engine mapping, traction control, anti-lock brakes, or drive on a track that no longer exists in a car that is too dangerous to drive? And that's one of those things that makes Automobilista great, in my opinion. Slightly biased. That we cover the eras from the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. So no matter what sort of car you download or build or we release, there's always a couple of real interesting tracks. And I find it a little sad, but I don't know, it's not sad, it is what it is, but why, how is it possible that the average sim racer seems to gravitate towards GT3? They are cool. Of course they are. And the racing is close and they're not easy to drive at a limit or anything. But come on, this is a sim. You can choose anything. And you want GT3? We get quite a few people visiting our office. And like I said, I'm not against GT3. It's another class of racing. It's fine. But people who visit the office, what do you want to drive? GT3 iRacing. Alright, so no Lotus 49 or GTP. It's fine, but I just don't understand it. Now, don't get me wrong. I made a GT3 car for a customer once and enjoyed it big time. Those are some quick machines. Oh, so hot. Oh. GT3 rant over-ish. It goes for the cars, but also for the tracks. Now, there's nothing wrong with a track like Spa, but some of the modern tracks, well, they're in. Most games have them. But these 80s sort of tracks, they don't exist anymore. They're lovely to have in a sim. Anyway, I think I'm ranting just so I have an excuse to be slower. Oh, dude. Does this sweat even show up? You don't want to see, but I'll just have a quick look at chat, see if everybody's real angry with me for what I said about GT3 cars. Have a sip of water before I do a couple more laps, because this is, amongst all the crap, a couple of laps I was sort of in the zone, throwing the car a little bit, balancing, manhandling it. A combination of flawed physics and driving skill that's combined to make it look cool. That's my secret. It is still very hot in the Netherlands, in the sense that we actually had 38 degrees a couple days ago. Oh, I'm literally leaking. I've sprung many leaks. I'm dripping. It's everywhere. So it was quite warm. I don't think we ever saw 100 degrees Fahrenheit here in this country. And now the rain's coming down, which is great. But it's raining so hard I have to keep the window and door closed. So it's still very hot here. Let me just scroll through chat while I recuperate a little bit. Yeah, the Talk and Drive where I coasted down a mountain while crashing. Yeah. So 4C bag is Botnar 60 Newton meter. It is getting warm, which means I'm using it to the full, which is normal. These things are okay to get a bit warm. But like I said, I do think we still have a spare motor at the office, the 25 Newton meter one, so I might sneak into the office and replace it to get even more sweaty, although I'm not sure if that's possible. If I sweat anymore, I cause a short circuit, because I think salty water is especially conductive. Yeah, 65 degrees Celsius in the cockpit of one of those things for real. It's about 29-ish Celsius here in my lame-ass simulator pretend racing room. So I'm running Botnar system, not Simulcube. Still not tried. I haven't tried any of the other 4C-back systems. I once attempted to try OpenSimWheel, but that was in the earlier days before Simulcube. It was a system from Dennis Reimer, and I think they were known to have so much EMI that your local public transport systems tended to sort of shut down if you turn the wheel on. But yeah, I'm running a very old Botnar. This one is over 7 years old, so it's got the super low-res encoder. They've upgraded them recently, so that would be a little bit smoother, but it's still very direct and proper. So it can be a little, like, compared to the newer one, like a little bit more grainy perhaps. But the new one has the resolver or the super high-res encoder, just like some of the OSWs have these days. In many ways, the Botnar controller is not a fire hazard unless I leak my sweat over it, which I won't do. So there's more ventilation. Although, having said that, it would probably be a good idea to have a fire extinguisher here. For myself. Oh, I don't mind sending the guy who's working on this mod. If he contacts me, I don't mind sending my engine or something. So it's just a bit of fun for me, but I saw on Race Department somebody made a preview of a conversion of the virtual LM virtual thingy mod that was very amazing in R Factor 1. I decided to download it and install a real turbo and my own physics on top of it. It's in the chat as well if you scroll up. So it's about 1.5 bar of boost. Like I said, it's about 280 horsepower naturally aspirated and then 650 with the turbo. Yeah, VR is very polarizing, just reading the comments here. If it ain't got VR, I'm not buying it. That's sort of like, that comes up all the time. I tried VR fairly properly for like an hour or so, and absolutely loved it and absolutely hated it at the same time. The immersion, the being there was spot on. But my 12-year-old Nokia phone has more pixels. It seems like more pixels than it was a release. I think it was Oculus Rift, the regular, like not one of the first ones, but the commercial one. those pixels, and they were sort of glowing like the sub-pixels. They were red, and this huge screen door that was. I really didn't expect it to be so bad, but I also didn't expect it to be so good in like the immersion and being there. But we don't need double the pixels. We need like 10 or 20 times the pixels before that's good. So it doesn't, for me, compare to triple screen. Even just running 60 hertz 1080p screens, you just see so much more than with VR. Although I do want VR to get a lot better, because if you don't look through a screen door at a Nokia screen, then it might be quite brilliant. All right. I'll do a bit more of that, so if you have questions or anything, you can just post them while I do some more laps. I think I'll manage. I still haven't cracked the track. Oh, still leaking. Still leaking. It's a hobby. Right, back we go. Out on track. I always look. There's nobody there. It's just a game. Those 80s curbstones, so high. Ow. Okay, let's get into it again. Oh, ooh. Kinda made the gear so I don't have to shift here as well, leave it in third. But you also want to be hearing the whistle. Oh, that's too early on the throttle. Run a bit wide and then get a double apex, but running wide is super scary because you don't quite know, with my lack of consistency at the moment, when the understeer will come, if it will come, and how bad it will be. So I'd like to keep a bit of margin on the outside there. Going wide, can I still apex? Yeah, not bad. Pretty bad. I'm not sure if it's still available, but a couple of years ago on the Vimeo website, like the YouTube alternative, there were quite a few full races uploaded, VHS quality, of the American GTP Championship. And I remember one video, I think it was 87, but I could be wrong, where they just started to switch from bias ply tires to radials. It might even have been later than 87. Which was interesting. I thought they would have switched earlier. But ow. Oh, there's another video you should watch. Johnny Dumfries, Porsche 956. It's also a clip from Duke video. I think he hurt his ribs or something. He's literally groaning. Onboard video. It's a little eerie actually. He doesn't sound a happy man. Trying to go on the throttle earlier there because I want to be on the boost, but goes again. Oh yeah. If I could be certain of neutral or oversteer when I go on the throttle again. I would have the guts to go on the throttle earlier. But I'm not consistent or good enough yet. Yeah, that was. I saw that coming actually. I just figured, well, let's not lift, see what happens. So yeah, bias-ply tires apparently being used till the mid to late 80s in GTP, which is sort of comparable to Group C, but even crazier, I guess, more downforce. Let's try second gear. Yeah, it's probably quicker. To learn how to do it in second though. Well, it helps that I never learned how to do it in third gear, so there's no loss. Really nice oversteer because it's not super sideways, it's just a little. Be a bit more brave. All over the place. So it almost doesn't feel like you have to correct those slides. They're an automatic product of the way this car is handling at the moment. See? They just fix themselves, these slides, no worries. The under and oversteer does announce itself. Later apex. It's probably good. Late on the brakes, late on the brakes. Come on. Ah. Nice. Oh. Bit messy. Oh, scary. That is genuinely scary. Yes, alright. Oh, these are new levels of sweat. I've don't know how many gallons I must have been sweating during these streams and videos over the last 7 years with my direct drive wheel, but this is taking the crown. You know the Looney Tunes, where I think Tom Cat is, I don't know, he falls into some bushes or something with like thorns, and he gets thirsty and he drinks and all the water just sort of comes out. I get a feeling that's happening with me as well. But it's been a long time, oh, seat fart, sorry, since I've had this much, like, fun isn't, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, but it's satisfying. Fun isn't always satisfying. It's mostly the same, but not always, and this is so satisfying, because I'm always very critical, and I'm still critical, of course, and I don't know if this is real or not, but sometimes if you're critical, it can be difficult to be happy about what you've made, because there's always room for improvement. And sometimes, even if you're wrong, because I might be wrong here, this might not be a realistic interpretation of Group C at all, I still realize that, but days where you make something and you're not critical, because I'm critical all the time, and it's just pure enjoyment, and it's goddamn realistic because I say so, even though I still, on the background, I know it's probably not, but that voice that says it can be better, it's nice to not hear the guy every now and then, and it takes a special circuit and a special car to do that. So In my world right now, this is a perfect Group C car with the best physics and the best simulator. There, I said it. It's nice to feel that, even if it's wrong, every now and then. Get some of those, I don't know, testosterone, endorphin, whatever the body does when it sweats and it's being physically challenged. They are winning from the critical guy that's always present in me. Now I'm happy with critical guy, because you have to be critical in order to move forward. But it would be nice if there was a switch for the critical guy, and I think I found the switch. Group C is the switch. To just enjoy with no critical thinking. Oh, mid-corner, 4th gear oversteer, holy crap. I'd like to do a couple of laps that are quicker. Oh. Not like that. lot on the table, so even with the big power slide, we might still be close. Yep. Power slide for speed. The boost came too early. Came too early. Didn't have the guts there anymore after last lap. Very costly for the split time. Nice. No oversteer. Fighting and losing, and never had such a amazing experience while this is happening to me, pretty much. Pretty late. Oh, yeah, I saw that coming. I saw that. Oh. Remember, in the Porsche 956, your legs, your feet are in front of the front axle, so I think that would have been the end of my career. Let's watch a little bit. I'm going the wrong way. Oh wait, no, I'm rewinding. Pretty realistic. Guy's got a big head, just like me. My front tires are a little bit larger in physics than in 3D. R&D's just like the best things ever made. Best racing cars ever. Just so pretty. So very pretty. Yeah, well, that's it, I guess. Because if this would happen... Oh... Yeah, my legs wouldn't be happy with that. Oh. No, actually, I think I have broken my legs. It's that realistic. I kind of want to go on. It's not wise. I ran out of water. Still sweating like myself. I think by now I've set the standard for sweat, so I can have a saying named after me. Whee! If anyone's left, anyone's still here, asking questions. Let's just look at chat if anybody's said something I should respond to. Is Critical Guy the sitting light bulb man? Yeah, I think you saw that. That's the sitting light bulb man is from Donald Duck. Who's the inventor? I know in Dutch is really Wortel. Who's the inventor guy in the Donald Duck's like comic thing? The inventor guy has his light bulb thingy that comes up with all sorts of ideas. Yeah. Even a Reliant Robin feels great on a direct drive wheel. I guess that's where the limit is, though. That might be the point where it doesn't matter that much anymore. So yeah, it's the race department Group C mod, but of course, since I'm a physics guy, I always build my own, so it's not the physics of that mod, but perhaps it's pretty good as well. I don't know. Perhaps this one isn't good. I don't know. I'm just having a lot of fun. I should not do it, but I'm still gonna do a couple more laps. I've broken many records of sweat and broken legs as well. Just a few more. It's that sort of feeling. And after that I'll try to answer anything anybody might have been asking in the chat. 136. How many laps have we done? Oh, only 70 something. That's nothing. The races back then, 1,000 kilometers. The sound is pretty decent at low revs. Got that flat 6 bass. Oh, this is the first time my steering wheel is sweaty. I let's talk about sweat, shall we? I sweat literally everywhere, but not on my hands. It streams out everywhere, but not on my. But now even my hands are sweaty. That's the first time. On my seat. I apologize. I deeply apologize. Even though I don't monetize my channel, I want to make sure I get demonetized anyway. Give it 5 more laps to try and beat the time. I was close until I messed up big time. It's definitely doable in cars like this with drivers like me. You just never get to the limit as close as you can do in a GT3 car or in a Formula 4 or even in a Formula 1 car. Because they're not as planted, they're not as precise, and no, lost it. That's my second pair of legs gone. Well, you can have a late apex or just none. Ow. Do we think I've peaked? May I have peaked? Might that have been a thing? Has that happened? It's much happier if I more straight line the exits. Ooh. Late. No power slide there, I managed to control myself. They're not very costly, because they're not big. Oh, missed that completely again. Getting real tired in my arms now, can barely hold on. Very, very messy. I'm afraid I'll be in trouble if I continue until I beat the lap time. I also think some of my bolts in my rig need tightening, although we are moving house very soon, so they might as well undo themselves now. He spins it. Ah! Keeping your foot in it, bad idea. Oh, dirty tires. Oh. Oh, so hot, so hot. I hear this like a miniature Derek Bell on my shoulder saying, come on, don't be a wuss. This isn't hot. These forces aren't heavy. It's not even real. What are you complaining about? You're right, Mr. Bell, you're right. I'm weak and unworthy, so I will continue for a bit longer. Oh, he does it again, Consistency. Sorry, Derek, sorry, really sorry. Come on! Yes! Oh! Okay. I have to stop at some point. Wow, 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 that was intense. What a fight. Occasionally not losing. We've set many records. The sweat record is the one for the Guinness Book of Records, I think. I have to make sure I rehydrate. This is really... Well, don't know about you. I sure did enjoy this. So, let's recap. I was browsing race department, saw a Group C car, downloaded it, made some physics in a half a day or a day, drove it all unofficial, just random stream. Porsche 956, not a lot of data available, so it's mainly whatever I decided that it was. We have about 300 horsepower from the normal engine and another 350 from a turbo. Bias ply-ish tires, which, what does that mean? Honestly, I don't know. They have a bit less grip. They need a bit more slip angle. In my case, the grip builds up a bit more gradually towards the peak, so it feels a bit more sort of forgiving perhaps. But it does move around a bit more. Runs less camber. It's more pressure sensitive. But that's all like that. It turned out very well. I really liked how I had to manhandle the thing. That's like, this is an energy boost that will last me for many days, and I probably need it because I need days to recover from this. Let's be nice and park it in the pits. Oh, well, yeah, well, cannot stop in time. Check my tire brands. Oh, you can see that, it's hidden. 1:36.2, only 80 laps. And I've barely broke a sweat, so yeah. Let's see if there's anybody. Ay. Ah, Riverside, California. Yeah, if there's ever one of those tracks that I was talking about, GT3 being on a rent and all the tracks that everybody knows. There are so many cool tracks from yesteryear, and Riverside is one of those. GTP races there. I think it's got some elevation change, scary corners. Not very forgiving. So Ricky says, what have you changed from the original physics? It's not because I feel superior. It's just that the way I make physics, they all come from my tool, so I don't edit any files. I make the numbers in my spreadsheet tool and out comes an entire physics set. So I haven't changed anything on the physics, I've completely replaced them. It's not a G25 rim. No. It's a Spa design. Hello. Spa design wheel, which is much nicer than the G25 rim. It's much lighter. Oh, when I had the G25 rim, I just drilled some holes so it matched the random shaft connector that was on my Botnar, which was prior to the proper, like I've got the real Botnar connector now with the 70mm Q1R quick release. So back in the day I just drilled some holes in my G25 rim and mounted that straight to the clamp that was on my bottom. Well, I really enjoyed this, as is probably obvious. I hope some of you did as well. If you did, that's good. If you didn't, well, other things to do with your evening. I'm gonna go drink something and have a shower. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later. Can you see it? Yeah, it's moist. That's visible. Here as well. Do we want the bellies? No, bellies. Sorry. R-rated. Demonetized. Bye bye, guys.